What's up everyone? It is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Now that it's November, it is a very stressful time. It is time to outline, it is time to study for final exams that are coming up right around the corner. So I've been feeling a little bit stressed recently. There is just so many things to do and not enough time to do them. So with final exams coming up, I thought I would show you all how I outline for my classes. Today we are going to be doing some evidence outlining. So basically walking through the steps of how I create an outline for class. And usually on these final exams, you don't really have enough time to be looking at your outline for every single question. But I like to outline because for me, I find that it's a really good way to study. It's a great way for me to start synthesizing the material, putting it all together, seeing what flows and what connects with other parts of the course. When studying for finals, it really is like figuring out what works best for you. So this is just how I outline. You can take some of these things and then make them your own while studying for your law school exams. So the first thing I do is open a Google Doc and then I title it whatever class the outline is for. I'm going to be doing my business associations outline after the evidence one today, so I've pulled that up right now. Then the first thing that I do is go through the syllabus and then add all of the different sections that we talked about as headers and then subheaders. So like today, I wanted to do partnerships, get through that, and go up through this next subheader, the corporations. For me, going through the syllabus, adding basically the timeline of the class into the Google Doc to start with is very helpful because then all of your readings and class notes will all follow this timeline, and that's a really great way. Otherwise, for me, I thought it's just very confusing. You don't know what goes where, but now everything goes under its corresponding subheader, which I find very easy to follow. So here I've got my evidence outline pulled up. Usually when outlining, I will split the screen like this. On the right-hand side, I will just literally leave notes of what I did last time so I know where to start for this time. Scrolling up, these are some of my notes from last time. Already on page 42 of this outline and not really even halfway done the outline, but I feel like leaving notes for myself is useful. So now picking this up again a few days later, I know where I stopped last time. So the first thing I usually do on my left-hand side is an outline from a previous student who took this class. For me, looking at these old students' outlines are very helpful because it helps me organize my information as well as see okay, is there information that I missed when studying and taking notes for this class? Is there something important that I missed? For us, a lot of student organizations put together outline banks. So the first thing that I like to do is start by reading over the prior student's outline just so I can get oriented with the material. A pro tip though, I would never just copy someone's outline word for word, just print it off because that's not really helping you study. But for me, I will retype what the other student's outline had and put it into my outline, and that helps me study and reread and relearn the material. Also, professors have said that they can tell because sometimes they will switch cases from year to year. So if you write on your final exam about a case your class never even talked about but a previous year's did, then they're sort of okay, we didn't talk about that in this class. So I finished taking the information that I want from the student's outline and put it into my outline on the right. I did find this entire Rule 705 wasn't in the student's outline, so that's something that you just have to be careful of. So I added 705 here into my outline. So we got all of the information that I want. Now scrolling back to the top of this section, I'm going to go to my readings for this day's class. So this is the rule that we're going with from October 1st. I'm basically going to read through all of my notes here on the left and then add the information that I want into my outline on the right and or like change things that I don't like the wording of. Maybe there's a better wording from the readings, sort of like combining my readings now into my outline document, synthesizing the information. So I have now gone through all of my class readings. We are on to hearsay for the readings. I've added information like this on the right, so it really supplemented my first go through. Now, after the readings assigned for the class, I'm actually going to go to that day's class notes. So similarly, good thing I made a note to myself of where we are, October 1st. This is also useful because if you get behind, the reading dates and the actual syllabus dates might not match. So similarly here, I'm going to go back through all of the information again from the top of this section while reading my notes from the class and then adding information from my notes into my outline. So similar to step 2, this is step 3, using the class notes. So the final step here, pulling up the class slides, similar to the other 2 steps, I'm going to go through the class slides and then also add that information into my outline. Change things, add things, edit things, all of the good stuff based on the class slides. So the last thing to do would be to make your outline look pretty. You should definitely color coordinate things, make them into boxes, make things stand out, however you like. So I'm going to go through how I've been color coordinating things, but this also can just vary person from person, do what works best for you. So for me, for the rules, I like to have the title in blue. It makes it pop more for my eyes. And then I have the rule word for word in a green box here. To me, when I see the green box, now I know on the exam or when studying that this is a word for word copy of the exact rule. I didn't make any edits to it. So then I know on the exam when I'm skipping through things really quick that this is word for word. I don't need to go look in the federal rules of evidence to see what the actual rule said. Green means word for word. And then scrolling down, the yellow to me in this outline means that these are the rule steps that I need to take in order to analyze different kinds of problems. So if I saw a problem that touched on expert witnesses, then I would know, okay, let me read the rule, jump to the test in yellow, and then work through these steps and questions that I wrote for myself. And then for case names, I've been putting that in purple text. Other important things, I might bold, italicize, underline, put in all caps, highlight in yellow here. So a bunch of different ways to make things stand out, because if you just have an outline that is hundreds of bullet points down a page, that is going to be hard to read. But if that works for you, then that's good. So really with outlining, it is just what works best, how you study best, how you can read things best. This is how I felt it worked for me. So yeah, that is how I walk through and start my outlining when studying for law school final exams. Like I mentioned, this is sort of trial and error. If you're a 1L, see what works for you, what doesn't work for you while studying for the upcoming exams. It's a very stressful time, so remember to take care of yourself. I'm a little bit stressed out, got so many things to do, but we keep moving forward and chugging along. Good luck studying. If you have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you all next time.